It's very smart to invest in repossessions because you can get an incredibly good deal as long as you're buying, once again, the right sort of product.
Totally depends on the address of the property, where it is, and the area. It's just like looking for a property, you know, how far are we from transport? Could I rent it out well? Is it a good investment? Is it a good area?
I've never particularly enjoyed investing in repossessions, normally because they're sort of smelly and horrible, but I guess there is a market there. Having said that, I think there's such a shortage of stock in central London that I don't think that they're necessarily, you can buy them at any lesser price than you would anything else. And I don't think, because the banks who have a duty, if they're the ones doing the repossession, to their shareholders to get the maximum price, and indeed also to the original borrower, I don't think you're necessarily getting any particular bargain buying repossession. So it's not something I've really focused on, I have to say.
Investing in repossessions can be a very smart idea since they are normally below market value. But just take into account that if you're buying a repossession in London, there are many, many buyers, and that could force the price to go above the market value. But in general terms, it's a good idea.
One of our mantras is that really good property never gets repossessed. You know, there's always, you know, the stuff that gets repossessed it somehow always ends up being the basement flat in the building rather than the first floor overlooking the communal gardens. Don't ask me why, because I mean, if somebody's in trouble, they're in trouble. But by and large, repossessed property tends not to be the cream of the crop.
Investing in repossessions is an odd one because it really depends on the sort of property that you're looking to invest in. You know, you can buy properties at auction, which may be unmodernized, but provided you've got a team of people who can help you bring it up to standard, then that can be a good place to buy property because some of them might not be mortgageable, especially if they've got no kitchens or bathrooms. So yes, there are certain advantages. I suppose the one advantage in buying a repossession is that it has to be sold. And you know, it's a very dispassionate vendor that you're dealing with. You're dealing with an institution. It's no longer someone's home, I'm afraid. So they want it off the books. There may be a bit more chance of some negotiations, but it will be quite yes and no. So be prepared for very cold discussions with the vendors.
I don't think there's anything intrinsically wrong with repossessions, but by definition, I mean, why is it being repossessed? Because presumably the owner tried to sell it. Is it because it's blighted in some ways? Is there a problem with it? I would just be instinctively cautious. Just because it's a repossession doesn't mean it's a deal. It might mean it's a deal because there's a problem with it.
I quite often think repossessions are just not good properties. They're repossessed for a reason. So I think, again, especially in my market, as I said before, it's not about buying the cheap thing, it's about buying the right thing.